get a quality education for a fair price. Don't set yourself up for a lifetime of failure and paying back. And it's actually silly.
Something for people that are upcoming in medicine, remember that it's not always just about going to the biggest, sexiest school, if you will.
No, I would say that the young people today have been fed nothing but a book of lies. And really,
Yeah.
unless you come from wealth, which I did not, you literally should go to the least expensive school, definitely a junior college, to get your basics. Do as much of that as you can in high school when it's dual credit. Seek all those opportunities. And then unless you're going to do something in, let's say, business where you have to have that network connection or finance, then you have to just go where you can get a quality education for a fair price. Because I think my med school debt was 80-ish thousand. And one of my no, well, that's been a while ago, but still, that was our class average. And one of my residency buddies went to the Northwest, went to WashU. He was 250, and we both are the same quality. I mean, I got good grades. I got good test scores. He got good test scores. So I think that there's absolutely no good reason to have a quote unquote experience. Now, if you're wealthy, do what you want to do. But if you don't come from money, don't set yourself up for a lifetime of failure and paying back and starting and digging yourself out of a hole. It's actually silly.
Yeah, well, and it kind of disables you if you're in a position where you go to the school and pay and get in that type of a debt, because then you come out of school and between the debt that you owe for your education and then trying to create a lifestyle for yourself, right? And most people, once they're out of medical school, they're to the age where they likely want to start a family, or they already have one and they need to have a mortgage and they need to be able to afford children. And that's just as important. And so I think that's really good advice for people that don't focus as much on the name or the clout around something rather than just the value, because I think it also ultimately boils down to how you apply yourself no matter where you're at.
Yeah, I think kids today need some reality checks, and they need some direction, and they need to not always be told they're great and they're awesome and their feelings always matter. Sometimes, you got to do things that are hard, because the world is so soft now that I love the saying that if you even have a little savage in you right now, you can own the world.
Yes.
If you want to work with your hands and start a yard service, you can have a huge house, and you can have all these things that if you just have a little work ethic right now, it's easy to be a winner.
You beat 9 out of 10 people. My dad, our family motto growing up was "Suck it up, princess." And he used to tell me, what was it? I'd say something and he'd say, "Well, life is unfair. Get used to it." It's like, okay. You can't really argue with that. That's the truth. And I think everybody now is looking for that instant gratification, which is another reason why you have so many people that start medical school don't finish it, because they don't have the grit. They've never been taught how to work hard at something over a prolonged amount of time, to where it's a long game. It's not an immediate source of great job, you're doing fantastic, right? And all those things are great to have positive affirmations, but at the heart of it, you need to, as a physician, especially in a surgical subspecialty, have that grit and have that resilience.
Yeah, I can count on one hand the number of times I was told good job in my residency. It just doesn't happen, because you're not very good in residency. I mean, you're getting better, and that's the most important thing. And that you leave with humility and you're humble, because if you're not humble in this specialty, you'll soon get humbled, and it'll actually affect your patients. And that's really the genesis of Hurt. Is we could have quit so many times, and we started and stopped so many times. And finally, when we took the leap, I'm relentless, and that's what it took. And if I wasn't relentless, this would have failed. All of these startups, and I tell you this to everyone who has a good idea. I go, well, okay, that's a great idea. How are you going to execute?
Yeah.
Do you have several $1 million to start and build the technology? Well, what are you going to do then? Because those are the things that people don't think about. And so maybe you go get a job and mow some lawns for a while, and then build some cash up, and then work on your great idea. So I just love to help young people find a path, It sounds like I beat them down. I don't beat them down. I build them up, but I am
It's tough
actually
love.
very much a realist. Yes.
I like that. And even in my own story, I worked corporate America for about 10 years before I started my own business. And I finally got to the point where I had not all the money by any means, but enough money to get started and know that I had kind of that 6-month bandwidth that even if I don't make a single placement or have a single client, I can at least get the brand up and running, the idea out to market, and strategize kind of how we're positioning ourselves. But it is definitely something that is a lost art nowadays because everyone, again, is so used to just, well, even in speaking with providers now who are coming out of school, and they want the utmost money. They want the best benefits. They want the best schedule. And it's like, well, you haven't proven yourself at all yet. You haven't showed anybody your value. Even though you have value, you have to actually apply it. And that is a lost concept, especially with new grads. I would say more so on the mid-level perspective that they want to walk out of school and just have, it made for them because they went to 2 years of school.
Right. That's a very interesting viewpoint because I witness that all the time as we try to hire providers.